Very good afternoon. I like Lego. It's the last year the Lego company released the Lady Scientist set. As soon as they released it, they sold out quickly, so I couldn't get it. But they tried to get over the gender stereotype in Lego. I'm so happy to put the snapshot of women in science and engineering this presentation. Actually, my part is not the gender study, but I try to collect it. Our R&D part in Singapore is how's the women science and engineering. So I just try to give us some big picture before I move to the women in science. This is a Singapore R&D framework. So this guy is the Prime Minister of Singapore. So he is the chairman in RIEC. To support him, the three ministry and funding agencies help them. And using that, their supporting is the research performers. We have the National Research Foundation. The other one is A-STAR, I belong there. So, and then in using that one is in university and polytechnic and A-STAR RI, we work together. The A-STAR is, we have a mission is a global leader in science and technology and the open innovation. So the two module is the Biomedical Research Council is we have 10 the RI, and Science and Engineering Research Council we have 8 RI. So my national lab is belong to the Science and Engineering Research Council. And the other one is the Joint Council Office and the A-STAR graduate academics. So in Singapore, they supporting the student study abroad using the scholarship. But using that scholarship is the student have to come back to Singapore. It seems like a bonding. So they have spent several years to working in A-STAR. So total staff is 5,300. The researchers, so among of them is 4,300 researcher engineering and technical staff in A-STAR. We have the 40% of foreigner staff. So I also Korean, so I belong to this 40%. So this is just my work. Is ARTC is we say the Advanced Remanufacturing Technology Center. So we work at the university as well as we also supporting the industry. So the industry supporting is we say the memberships, so like the Siemens and Rolls-Royce company in Singapore. So my part is how to improve the process planning and design using the simulation. So just to consider the product and service information and production system information. And the middle box is my research topic, and outcome is you can see the picture, this is a simulation approach. So okay, I go back to the women in science in Singapore. So according to the national survey of the R&D in Singapore, the fewer female than the male were in the labor force in every age group, with the smallest gap in the 25-29 age cohort, when the 93% of male and 85% of female were economically active. Between the prime working age year of 25 and 64, and 79% of men and 67% of women were economically active. It's quite high portions of ladies that work until retire. So I prefer the two tables. The left side table is the occupation distribution between male and female. And the right side table is slightly the detailed how's the age group. So you can see the increased female representation in higher skill job the category. So why is that? I summarize the three answers. The women's increased educational attainment level, in particular at young age, and qualify more than for higher skill occupation. And younger women are more likely to have to complete their higher education and training and more working experience than the men in the same age who have delayed by 2 years military service. In case of Singapore, it's same as Korea. All guys have to attend the national service 2 years. So, however, the women got married may have lost some seniorities due to the child care obligation. So in gender of scientists and engineers, this data from the National Survey R&D in A-star. So from 2008 to 2012, so female scientists, the number is slightly increased. So finally, the 25% all research staff, so up to from 27% in 2011 is following the trend of increasing the proportion of female scientists and engineers in A-star. So I added not only A-star, but also government sector. So still the male is a high portion to working in engineer and scientist, but luckily the female portion is slightly increased, it's 34%. So in not only the R&D section is the university was very interesting, the outcome. In 2013 is NTU is Nanyang Technology University. In the female undergrad outnumber of men. So the admission is to all educational program in NTU is not gender-based, and all qualify. The application are considered fairly. So the university is NUS. It's very interesting. Is for every 10 girls, is average 9.5 guy, but especially the environmental biology is all girl. It's no more guy. But FASS is Faculty of Art Society, and then the School of Design and Environment is still have some guy, and yeah, except in the engineering group. So Dr. Tan is NTU guys say that they expect this ratio in universities to eventually stabilize at 50 and 50. But although the gender preference for some disciplines will still remain. So for instance, they could still be over the representation of men in engineering. So in summary, I just make a 2 point in the gender bias and the barrier will be slowly eroded in Singapore. And more invest in education and subsequently their careers, ensuring the work-life balance for working couple will be a critical issue for young generation considers marriage and families formation. So this is my presentation. Thank you for attending. Have a good time in Seoul.